plan on doing a short hike in Red Rock Canyon open space today. It's 11 o'clock. Kind of late in the day. We walked up here from the house. It's only about a half mile from home, so it's not too bad of a walk. We want to head up this way. Don't know exactly which trails we're going to be taking, but we'll bring you guys along. Got some pretty views out here. It's open. Got a lot of rock. Just right here on the edge of the city. Everything's kind of drying out. It's a very popular destination for people on horseback. Definitely bicycles, hikers. As you see, spin around. You're right on the edge of the city. Right down here is Highway 24. As you can see, everything's starting to dry out. Some rabbit brush right there. Rabbit brush is absolutely gorgeous. Makes some good honey. The bees love it. Butterflies love it. That's Codel Trail, which runs back up that direction, and then it eventually runs up the top of that ridge and back down in Hogback Valley. You see how well you can see this or not. You've got some round formations there in the rock. This rock is volcanic. So they say there were bubbles that popped and left those holes. It's beautiful contrast in rock here. Two different types laying over each other. You got the lighter colored rock. Looks almost sedimentary, possibly clay, built up over time, and then it fades into this rusty rock, kind of brown in color. Not quite red, but brown in color, and we will get to some red formations back up in here for sure. Basically what we're walking on here is a road. This used to be the city dump. So this trail here is pretty wide. City bought this, I believe it was in the 90s. Sometime in the 90s, bought the property, and they've been slowly letting it reclaim to its natural beauty. And this is, I think this is a better representation of the types of flora that we have here in the Colorado Springs area. You got things like winter fat, which is that kind of a silverish looking stuff. Different types of grasses, short bushes, alfalfas, the rabbit brush, very small trees. A lot of rock, different types of rock too. So you've got different colors, the whites, the browns, the reds. You got a lot of quartz in this area as well, and just a beautiful representation. And that's a shot up Hogback Valley. Very pretty back up there. And right up there is the top of Codel when you run that ridge. Like I said, you have several little trails that spider off of these main ones. And there are several trails in here, and they continue to build more and more. This is a prickly pear cactus, and that red on top is actually the fruit, and you can cut those off. They're very sweet. They're almost like you mix a strawberry and a watermelon. Very super sweet, really good. A lot of pulp and fiber in those. But you got to be very careful grabbing them. They like to bite back. One of the prettier things about this hike, even though it's kind of barren and open, come around the corner, you get a good look at all the different layers of rock and Garden of the Gods. Just on around this corner, about another 40 yards or so, 30-40 yards, is where we like to watch the fireworks New Year's Eve, set off at Pikes Peak by Adaman. And a pretty view. All that red rock pushing up, Garden of the Gods. Ramparts over there. And right up that way, Highway 24 goes up Butte Pass to Woodland Park and Divide. Back over here, so over this knoll, got a good look at Pikes Peak. And then just on this side, I believe that to be Eagle Mountain. It's awful pretty, and this is what I talked about. You start seeing some of the red rock a little bit right there in front of you. Got this nice big open meadow down here. Got a trail that shoots off of it. Got a trail that goes around the rim. And right there in that tree, if you can see that scar going straight up, that is the Manitou Incline. 2,768 steps, I believe. Takes you 2,000 vertical feet. Here's a good view of the Red Rock as our playground, right close to the house. Butts up against the lower foothills. If you look over there across on that side, it's the dog park. Back down here's one of the parking lots. Garden of the Gods, Highway 24. Back across there is where we came from. Some of the stuff is so fine, it's like talcum powder sand. Like walking on the beaches with the Caribbean sand down there in the Keys. It's like a little bit of color change back up here. And now down the stairs. So now that we're down the stairs, coming down the hill here, getting ready to meet up by the amphitheater. There's a little lake back over there. It's pretty much dried up. It is actually pretty dead up here for a Sunday at noon. Surprised there's not more people. It's not too ungodly hot. I mean, it's 80, going for 81 degrees today, but you're in the blaring sun. It is a little bit toasty. Some shade down here amongst these trees. So the little dam here and the little pond is dried up pretty bad. You can actually see over here on this rock where the water level usually is in here. Usually it's washing up back over here. Little sandy spot, like a beach area. You're not allowed to swim in here, but people bring their dogs in here, let them off a leash, and they go play in the water. So we're going to head back up this trail here, head back towards the quarry. Some places you're walking on really soft sand, like the talc. Other places you're walking on hard pan. Other places you're walking on exposed rock. All the while you work your way up this little canyon. Surrounded by the red rock walls. Some folks rock climbing the walls up here. It's allowed, only if you have a permit and proper safety gear. Starting up the trail to the quarry. I'm going to go ahead and climb the steps, give some information on this as we go. Colorado Springs is getting started. They had a gentleman who decided he's going to quarry this so they could use the stone to build with. It wasn't very long before they stopped using the quarry because they realized the rock really wasn't that great for building. However, you'll see here in a moment as I get up this, the carved steps in the face that go to the top. They're steep, they're narrow, they're not really all that deep. Cool feature. Let's head to the top. See at the top, catch my breath. See all the quarry marks on the stone. And really well back over here. You can see the drill lines in the rock still in places. Like right here. And again back over here. Cool thing is you can come up here and explore this area. Continues on as you cut through the main face of the rock. And this is why the rock was not good building material. Splits off in slabs. Some of the old drill bit holes still in the rock.
Actually, I don't know about massages because I was just looking at, I was looking for like the pedicures. I didn't actually have anything.
We have some pretty views from here. A couple ridges over. I'm gonna head on down this way. Working our way back down the other side. Back into pretty views. More rock. Back down there's Garden of the Gods. Shoots on down. Back towards the lake on the back side of that dam. But Trina's been talking about Roundup. So I think we're going to go on up this way and loop around instead and head back down. You guys can see that last little section of Roundup. It's really pretty dropping down in that canyon. Around this bend, you got that notch up there in the mountain. That notch is tinny crags. Looks like the rear side of a gun. It's one of the features you can see from all over the city. Found us a cool spot here in the shade to take some water and enjoy the views. Up there on the mountain, you can see some of the vegetation starting to change, reds and yellows. It is the undergrowth. It's not any trees or anything, but it sure makes for a pretty view, especially whenever you're enjoying a nice break. Lookout spot right here. It's beautiful back out here. Got a lot of pines down in here. In fact, that's the valley we're going to be in here in a few minutes. Got to run back up that trail. It runs us over. And we switch back down. And we'll come out in that valley and go that direction. So I guess gives you a little bit of a bird's eye view of what we're going to be going into. Some of these canyons are really thick. It's really pretty in them. You drop down off these more barren areas and drop into something like that. It's a big relief, especially on a hot day. See you down there in a few minutes. This is a bristlecone pine. They're short. They grow extremely slow. And this one is probably a few hundred years old, even though I could literally wrap my arms around it. High winds actually take and twist them. Not just the limbs, but the trunks too. That's probably the reason why you probably have this big gnarly knot right there. The reason they're called bristlecone pines, because, let's see if I can focus in on it. Those needles are popping out of the pine cones. And that's why they're called bristlecone pines. So I can get it back into view here for you. Alright, we're going to go ahead and continue on. That's the direction we came from. I'll hit the crossroad here. Here's Roundup heading back towards the west. A little V up there is the pass, US 24. And we're going to head down that trail there. One of the joggers by. Got some pretty colors starting to pop up here. Don't know if they'll go full yellow or they're just going to wind up turning brown. Haven't had a little bit of rain for a while, and that does help keep these colors on a little bit longer. So we're going to work our way down this section of the trail. It's a fun little section of the trail. Bicycles. It'd be kind of rough to ride on myself. I don't know if I would do this or not, but surprisingly they bring horses across this too. I imagine they have to get off and walk them across it. Can't imagine somebody riding their horse up or down that rock. Our way on around. Well, speaking of, alright, there's the proof they ride horses right through here. Tell me that's not a beautiful view from this trail. Red rock. Heck, we're hugging up against the red rock over here. Roundup is one of the prettier trails in here. I think it actually is the prettiest trail in here. There are a lot of nice ones, but Roundup gives you such a different variety from one side to the other. Maybe soon we'll hike the whole thing. Gorgeous. On days like this, when it's hot, sunny, no clouds, these hillsides with these little gamble oaks and pines are your best friend, providing you with a little bit of shade. Much needed shade and much appreciated shade, if only for just a moment or two. Turn the corner and wow. Hope you can catch some of the colors, contrast. We're going to continue heading down now. And his favorite part, dropping into this little canyon. It sure is pretty. It's nice to be going downhill too. Remember that view when we get in the bottom and we slide in between those two big huge rock faces. I'll give you a glimpse up. Oh, and by the way, that far edge over there is what we call Allen's Peak. Wonder who that's named after. So we're going to go this way. We're going to wind up there. And then we're going to wind up in that little spot down there. And then I believe there's another switchback after that. And we'll wind up finally down there on the very bottom. Switchbacks are your friends. We drop deeper into this canyon. We're looking back towards North Cheyenne Canyon and Bear Creek. Of course, Allen's. You're getting these larger spires of rock that come off of it. The trail that skirts along the edge of that mountain up there is section 16. And in fact, that nice green valley right there in front of you that goes up, the trail switchbacks up through there. This red rock is just, it stands out so much against the green. It looks so foreign in this terrain. At the same time, it's just so pleasing because you have so many different contrasts and textures and color. Something new for your eyes to feast on every day. Look, another switchback. And when you turn this one, you're staring back at those cliff faces. That one and that one. Inching our way to the bottom. Last little switchback ahead until we drop down into the floor of the valley. Didn't take long for us to lose that ridge and drop down to the bottom. Got the fence up here, so keep people from slipping back up in there. It doesn't quite work all the time, but it deters a lot of people from just going off trail and beating everything up. Kind of woolly through there anyhow. I'm gonna come around and shoot right back down this valley. Got that rock face down there. Oh my goodness, it's so cool right here. We got a breeze. I'm in the shade. Found a little slice of heaven right here. Anything from that relentless sun. Like this a few weeks ago, and it was really lush and green then, but get towards the end of summer, slipping into the autumn months, and the relentless sun has beat down these plants, soaked up all their moisture. The winds also help remove moisture in the lower humidity areas, so everything's pretty dried up right now. It's got a beauty all its own. And soon we'll have a little bit of snow in the bottom of this valley. Back to some pretty smooth walking. Feels good. Like I said, it's a very popular trail today. Has several people going both directions on this trail. Down here in the look up these walls. I guess rather than one wall. It's beautiful. Don't know if you can see the holes up there, but sometimes you have swallows and stuff that'll nest up in those holes. This side has a lot of vegetation, and looks like the sun's peeking through on it. Kind of blind against. Might want to put on your sunglasses for this one. And right up there is a nest. Here about the center of your screen. And boy, they have littered the side of that wall. It's a pretty little spot. And it's cool down here in between these rocks. Oh my. That pretty much does it for this trail. Pretty much for this video. I head on back down Red Rock Canyon. It's going to be pretty much everything you've already seen. The quarry you're going to see again. You would see the lakes again. So pretty much done here.